There's less than 2 weeks till the Switch 2 launches, and all of a sudden, tons of channels are telling you that there's a new Zelda secret game coming out in 2025. A big Zelda game. There's been secret documents that people have seen, channels have heard rumblings, and it's all about The Legend of Zelda being present at this Switch 2 launch. But let's be honest, there is a 0% chance of a huge Zelda game launching in 2025. And in this video, I'm going to break down why the rumors should be ignored, why the rumors are senseless, and why it's going to be a much longer wait for the next Zelda, for better or worse. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from Switch Force. Hit that like button if you're excited for Switch 2. Can't believe it's freaking so close. Remember when it was years away? Remember even when the April Direct felt so far away? And here we are. It's pretty crazy. But one thing that is too crazy is this whole Zelda wave I've seen. It's hit like a tsunami this past week, where all of a sudden it started for me seeing Arlo, the Muppet guy, post the video saying that he got sent a secret document where it showed that they were supposed to have a 2025 Zelda game at some of these Nintendo Switch 2 events, and they didn't have a 2025 Zelda game. I've also seen people reporting about, a potential remake, another potential Zelda title, because Nintendo can't bear to launch a system without a big Zelda to support it. They need this software, right? As if Mario Kart World isn't actually the biggest game. We've had rumors about a remake for Ocarina of Time, a remake of maybe Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons. It all seems to be coming to a head that, like, hey, Nintendo is planning and hiding this big secret Zelda game, and they're just not. There's just no way, okay? But what they are doing is they're releasing multiple Zelda games. Multiple Zelda games are already here, and the 2025 Zelda has already been shown. Did you remember what it was? Yes, it's Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. That is a 2025 Zelda game, and everyone seems to just ignore that. These rumors pop up, and everyone wants to jump on the bandwagon and say, boom, big Zelda. Is it the threequel to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom? Is it a big remake? What do we got going on? No. The Zelda 2025 on Arlo's secret paper is Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. That probably was going to be demoed initially at these Switch 2 events, and then they decided to switch things out, or it wasn't ready, or it didn't have a demo that was in consumer playable form. There's also two other Zelda games, right? There's The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Switch 2 edition, and there's The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 edition. Now, you don't have to count those if you want, but I'm just telling you that from Nintendo's perspective, they have 3 Zelda Switch 2 games. It's more than they've ever had at the launch of a console. Granted, 2 are Switch 2 editions, but 1 is a brand new game. And they did make sure that they're going to have some Legend of Zelda presence in the launch window of this system. Guys, there's no way that there is room for another Zelda. And there's no way that there's realistically another Zelda game this soon, this close to Tears of the Kingdom. Let's look at this, okay? There was reports this week and interviews that Nintendo began working on Mario Kart World in 2017. They have been working on that game for 8 years. And people want to believe that there's a brand new big Zelda ready to go? Come on now. Nintendo takes their time. Games take their time. They delayed Tears of the Kingdom a bunch. They delayed Breath of the Wild a bunch. They delay Zelda a lot because they want to get it just right. Games are elongating their development cycles. Nintendo is packing this year in already with Mario Kart World, with Donkey Kong Bonanza, with the Zelda games I mentioned, with Kirby Air Riders, with Metroid Prime 4. They don't need, nor can they fit, nor will they have a big Zelda. Look, don't get me wrong, Nintendo is working on a Zelda game. There is going to be a huge Switch 2 Zelda game, but the Switch 2 launch does not need a huge Zelda game. Nintendo does not need a huge Zelda game right now. They're not desperate for software. In fact, they've got their best seller ready to go. People act like Zelda has to be there in its like true 3D form for Nintendo to succeed, and that's just not true. I've even seen articles suggesting as much, like, look at their last releases. And it is true that historically Nintendo lately has had a big Zelda game tied into their new console. They don't need it. They've got Mario Kart World. That's all they need. Truthfully, Nintendo could launch the Switch 2 with Mario Kart World and not another game until 2026, and it would still sell insanely well because that's the game people want to play. The eShop is going to be full of games desperate for your attention. There's lots of third-party titles coming out at the start and throughout the rest of the year, and Nintendo could easily just say, like, yo, we're bringing Smash and all these games later on down the road. Right now we got Mario Kart World, and people would be like, okay, that's fine. That's what we want to play. We'll wait for Animal Crossing. We'll wait for Splatoon. We'll wait for Pokemon, and we'll wait for The Legend of Zelda. There's just no chance of it. And then some people are trying to tie this into the 40th year anniversary for Legend of Zelda. Look, we've got a Mario anniversary this year, and I've heard nothing. Have you seen or heard any marketing for Mario's anniversary? Nope. They got nothing going on. So yes, there might be an upcoming Zelda anniversary, and maybe eventually Nintendo does do something, but there's two easy routes for this. One, that thing doesn't start till the end of 2026, and there they tease something for, say, 2027 or even 2028. But it's also totally plausible and totally like Nintendo to have an anniversary where they release new music for the Nintendo Music app, or a new theme for Alarmo, or maybe they introduce themes for the first time on Switch 2. There's plenty of worlds and ways where they can get around a big anniversary without needing to have a major game. And you should know by now, if you've been following Nintendo for any amount of time, that they love to do stuff like that. They love to get you excited, like it's the 40th anniversary of Legend of Zelda. And then you're like, oh, wait, they're doing Game & Watch again? Are you kidding me? They're putting a combo of the 3DS Legend of Zelda games onto Switch 2. Like, that's the kind of thing Nintendo could do. And obviously, we hope for more. Obviously, we wish that they'll do the very best they can and have some epic remake ready to go, but I'm not even convinced that they do. I'm not even convinced that Nintendo is preparing some huge Zelda game for 2026. Look, Tears of the Kingdom just came out a few years ago. Nintendo is pushing hard with the Switch 2 editions of both their Switch 1 Zelda titles. And we have Hyrule Warriors. That is a recipe for no Zelda for quite a while. Nintendo does not have a shortage of franchises to fill that gap. It's not just Zelda and Mario anymore. It's Zelda and Mario and Splatoon and Animal Crossing and Smash Brothers and Mario Kart and probably a bunch of others. They can throw a Pokemon game in and basically guarantee themselves 20 million in sales. And now they're going to have strong support of third parties where you might see games like the Duskbloods, which is that From Software exclusive, becoming a trend where Nintendo does make a partnership with someone for a Switch 2 exclusive, and then they can kind of either publish it or just support it heavily with marketing and use that to fill a gap. They also can bring back old characters that didn't see the light of day on Switch 1, guys like Star Fox and Kid Icarus. There are so many options for Nintendo that they definitely do not need a Zelda game. We'll get one eventually. I think Nintendo will evolve and iterate and make a really cool Legend of Zelda game eventually. But trust me, you're getting 3D Mario before you get the next Zelda. You're probably getting Animal Crossing before you get the next Zelda. You're probably getting something Smash Brothers and maybe even Splatoon before you get the next big Zelda. They also just did Echoes of Wisdom, right? So they did Tears of the Kingdom, Echoes of Wisdom, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. We are Zelda out for a couple of years. I'd love to be wrong. Nintendo has a surprise and they do bring a Zelda, but it is silly to believe that is possible, and it's downright impossible to happen in 2025. So if you see any of these rumors around, if you see videos surrounding this sort of stuff, know that the 2025 Zelda has already been announced. The 2025 Zeldas have already been shown off, and there's no secret Zelda waiting to be flipped out like an ace in the hole. That's not what Nintendo has. If they do have one more big Switch 2 game for this year, it's going to be a Luigi's Mansion, a Mario Maker, something of that sort. It's definitely not going to be a big Zelda. Should we say it one more time? It's definitely not a big Zelda game. There's already a medium Zelda game coming out this year. How did we forget about it? Hopefully you now won't forget about it, and hopefully everybody else out there will chill on the Zelda rumors. In the meantime, everybody, let me know your take in the comments down below. We're so close to the Switch 2 launch. So freaking pumped. I got you covered with all the latest and greatest, and hopefully with a, calm, collected, intelligent take on what's going down in the world of Nintendo as everything begins to go crazy as we get closer to launch and then beyond. Direct seems like it is coming soon. I cannot wait to share all of this with you. Thanks for watching. Until next time, Switch Force out.